All right, welcome to another segment of Day After Tuesday. As a reminder, this is content about focusing on the elections and what you can do to impact the elections this year. Things you can do starting now. That's why it's called Day After Tuesday. And we don't want to wake up the day after Tuesday regretting not doing more. What do I have here? Maps. Let's do this a little differently, something dynamic, something a little bit more engaging. Maps about what to target. So ignore the flashiness of it. I just want to present this as a map that's from Swing Left's website. Swing Left is an organization that's focused on high impact competitions and races this year. And so when you go to Swing Left and you go to their strategy tab, you actually see a few maps. This toggles through a few things: presidential states, US Senate states, US House, and then state level. I will focus on two of those, the first two. But it's very important to focus on the races that will have the highest impact, including where your money should go and maybe where your time would go. And I talk about in a different video different ways to use your time for action and volunteering and things like that. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's go to the presidential first. So these are the states. They are the battleground states, and if we focus on these states, if we win a good half of them, let's say Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania, chances are it's done. With Nevada too. A mixture of these states would help us win. So focus on these states, but there are other races outside the presidential that you could overlap your efforts. By donating money to that state's Democratic Party, you can actually have a 2-for-1 or leverage your money even more, because that Democratic Party at that state can do a lot in that state for the presidential election as well as the Senate. And that's actually what I want to focus on too, is defending the Senate, because we currently have, I think, 51 senators for the Democrats, and we are playing defense when it comes to the Senate. So out of these states, I will show you a broader map that adds to these battleground states for the presidential, and they are here. These are called, Swing Left calls them super states. We still have Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and we have Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, as well as I think that is New Hampshire. I should know that. But let me add here that there are a few others. So Montana got added because Montana is a U.S. Senate seat that we're defending. His name is Tester. Great senator, but Montana, kind of a red state, but he's been winning. Want to also add here, what else? Ohio, Sherrod Brown. And there are U.S. House races too. So again, when you have multiple whammies, if you will, or multiple races going at the same time, Ohio's probably not going to go blue for president, but there's a way to win the U.S. House races as well as the Senate race. Sherrod Brown is quite popular there, the Democrat. So these are the ones to focus on. Let me highlight a few things here. One is that we've got Pennsylvania, all right? With Pennsylvania, we basically have a state legislature that we can, so you got two state legislative chambers. You can see by the legend here, Democrat held versus Republican held. It's actually quite closely Republican held. There's a way to flip that this year. So there's a way to turn that blue and the whole state legislative chamber, both the chambers blue. And so Pennsylvania's a good one. Chances are Biden will win that one. Scranton, Pennsylvania, you know. If I were to focus on some of these, and you see New York here, where I'm living in right now, it's got a bunch of House races. If you're not in New York, maybe you don't have to focus on that, but that is, that's something that is competitive and we can pick up. If I were you and I was focused on just battleground states for presidential and the Senate, and maybe a little bit of the House as well, I would consider Pennsylvania, Michigan, where we've been having issues with Muslim Americans, the protest votes in support of Palestine. Very understandable, but we got to get ahead of it. We've got Wisconsin, those three states. Then I would add Nevada. I feel like it's pretty blue. It's got a Senate race there. but chances are it's going to go blue. Arizona is a very interesting one because Kirsten Sinema is no longer running as an independent or a Democrat. So there is a good, I think Ron Gallegos. He's running to be the Democrat, and he is the Democratic nominee. And we're hoping to have that still stay in Democrats' hands. So Arizona is a good one. It's kind of a purple state, kind of like Nevada is, maybe a little bit redder than Nevada. Georgia is very interesting because holding on to Georgia, which was a surprise win for 2020, holding on to Georgia is quite important too, making inroads there. North Carolina is very interesting. We have a Democratic governor there, but they have a supermajority for Republicans. Long story, one Democrat turned Republican and gave them a supermajority. We need to break that majority, but also there's a Democrat running for governor there, and they after the Super Tuesday, the primaries for Republicans pretty much knocked off a lot of moderate Republicans and a lot of scary, very right wing, ultra conservatives got put on the ballot, and so it's the Democrats versus those ultra conservatives. So North Carolina is a great place to make inroads as well. I would focus on that. Not super high chance of having North Carolina go blue for the U.S. presidency, but if it does, it creates such a great bonus in terms of electoral college votes. Those are the ones that I would focus on. And then New Hampshire, it's great because we don't want to have that. Well, it's a good defense play. We don't want there's a Republican governor, so it's a great way to get a Democratic governor in there. New Hampshire is probably going to go blue, but it's a good way to make sure our electoral college votes don't basically get chipped away. If we lose New Hampshire, that would be bad. So yeah, that's in summary the map that I wanted to share with you. And again, please look at my deck or one of my previous videos that shows you how you can put money into either Swing Left as an organization. They will help focus your money into these different races. You just have to tell them how much and they'll split it up, or you can customize it how you want. Or you can put time into these races, and so pick and choose your state. And that's it for now.